I think I made all the panelists guest, Allah.
Yes, Shobha, Dr. Shobha. Good evening, Dr. Shobhanis.
Good evening,
All are joining now.
everyone. So once we get the information from everyone, we will start. Sunanda ma'am, are you there?
Yes, good evening, Shobha ma'am.
Hi,
Good evening, everyone.
Pavan, you're there?
Hi, yes, ma'am.
Katoti sir. I have to pin you.
You're looking for Katoti, sir?
No, I'm looking to make him co-host.
A principal has joined us.
Yeah,
Chandan sir is there.
Yes, I've made him co-host.
Harish sir is there.
Harish sir.
Ravindra sir has also joined.
Add pin.
Harish sir is here only.
Yeah.
Add pin. Okay. So we have Shri Lakshmi ma'am,
Dr. Harish, Dr.
Harish,
Ravindra, Dr. Nanda, Tejas sir, Chandan. The team is in, ma'am.
yeah, I'll just repeat. Shri Lakshmi ma'am, then Ejaz sir, Katoti sir, Harish sir, Sunanda ma'am, Pavan, and yeah. Shall we start?
Yes.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Good evening to everyone present here, and I welcome one and all to this, fourth day of our faculty development program on cultivating student success, empowering teachers for holistic student development. Now, it's been a very wonderful journey to see every one of you here and ready to continue this important journey. First, I would like to extend a warm thank you to all the participants for your active engagement and insightful contributions over the past 3 days. And we've covered a lot of topics, right from understanding student needs to exploring innovative teaching methodologies. We've also looked at the importance of creating inclusive classrooms and promoting student well-being. Now, today we are, very much excited to delve deeper into the practical aspects of holistic student development. We have, a distinguished panel of experts who will share their experiences, insights, and strategies for empowering teachers and to foster student success. We also have a student representative who will share his views on behalf of all the students. Now, the focus of our panel discussion is to explore how we as educators can effectively support the holistic development of our students. Now, it not only includes their academic growth, but also it includes their social, emotional, personal well-being. And not to forget, we also are concentrating on teacher strength so that he or she has power to empower students. I'm delighted here to announce our esteemed panelists. We have with us Dr. Ejaz Ahmed Khan, who will be the Chief Moderator, Principal of Government Ramnaran Chalaram College of Commerce and Management. Welcome you, sir. We have Dr. Ravindra Katoti, sir, Faculty of Commerce. We have Srimati Sunanda Keshavdas, Counselor. Then we have Dr. Harish, sir, Faculty of English. We have Dr. Shri Lakshmi, ma'am, Faculty of Management. And we have Pavan, who is a student representative. So we have technical assistance. We borrowed the assistance of Shri Chandan, sir. I welcome all the panelists and the participants for this panel discussion, and let's have a wonderful session. So over to you, Ejaz sir. We will start our panel discussion.
So thank you very much, Dr. Shobha, and I thank the entire team and welcome all the participants and the panelists to this panel discussion. Uh, we had been listening to various resource persons from last few days, and lots of inputs we have received from different experts. I think that would be more meaningful if it is converted into the ground reality and put it into practice and pass it on to the stakeholders who are looking at us for their personal growth as well as well-being. I think today it has been a very meaningfully, conceived as to have a panel discussion on various issues connected with the students, holistic development and their empowerment as well as the empowerment of the educators. So educators empowerment is the empowerment of stakeholders who are not just students but also their parents, industry and the society at large. I think let us begin instead of wasting your time on anything, making some remarks like. So we shall start the discussion on the various issues which are connected with the educators as well as the students. Over to you, Madam and Dr. Sunanda. I think you would be the right person to start with. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to GRCC College of Management for inviting me to this panel. Thank you to Dr. Shobha and all the other organizers. So my name is Sananda. I am a counselor and a psychologist, and I am located in Kochi. I work primarily with adults and also students. And when it comes to students, I focus more on how their personalities, how their unique nature can be developed in order to become highly functional and productive human beings in the workplace, and family, which ultimately contributes to society's well-being and growth. So students are, of course, our future generation. What we pass on to them and what they learn by themselves is what becomes the uh, output for the future. So when this topic was introduced, and it's a wonderful topic, a very critical topic as well, because when we talk about empowering teachers, empowering educators in order to develop holistic human beings, it is something I think very naturally it should happen. But I would like to also here put in a word that when we talk about student-teacher relationships, we have to be conscious and aware of the fact that this particular relationship is a relationship which has a natural power imbalance already. Educators, teachers working within the organization always have more authority than the student who comes in to learn. So whenever we do something, we must come with that awareness and that consciousness that we are not trying to overpower what is in the students in front of us. We are trying to give them the capacity to develop what is naturally in them, whatever specialization they have in them, let them develop it and become wonderful members of society. So we are here to do that. So this is something we should be conscious and aware as we enter any such discussion. All right. So now if the question is how to empower educators. So when we work with this consciousness that we are already having a bit more power than the students, we first need to establish a relationship with the students. Before we start to, give them something, we need to establish a proper relationship with the students. Now, majority of the times what happens is college students are coming from school. So school is it's like a cocoon, a small place which is literally a reflection of home. If you notice the language that is used for teachers, for very young children, they say mother teachers. Because the school is supposed to be a sort of reflection of home. So there is a parenting aspect to it. But when we come to college, students are carrying that same expectation to college also, that the educator will be somehow a parenting figure. So we need to set the correct expectation for students. Before we can empower educators, set the correct expectation. What is college? College is actually a transition. From your cocoon, you're going to now come out into the real world, because you have to go out and work in organizations, or you have to set up your own organization. You have to create a family. So now it is about becoming independent adults. It is about becoming empowered in yourself. College is where you will learn to empower yourself. People will not do things for you. You have to do things by yourself. In school, mothers and fathers, they'll wake you up at 6 o'clock, get ready for school. But by the time you come to college, if you're living in hostel and all that, you have to do everything by yourself. You have to get up by yourself, take care of yourself. So college is the place where you learn to empower yourself. So when this expectation is set correctly, students are able to create a better relationship with the teachers. And once a better relationship is set up, then we can move on to the discussion of how to impart whatever we are trying to impart. Another critical aspect of this is, I don't know if people realize this or people know this, human beings cannot be taught anything. All of you are, I think, teachers, so I don't know if you'll agree with this, but human beings cannot be taught anything. Human beings learn things. So when we talk about empowering teachers, it is about focusing on learning, how we can understand the different learning needs of the students and help them or facilitate their learning process. So this is the other aspect of empowering teachers. They should have the equipment, they should have the knowledge of how students learn. That also helps to give out a better outcome. And then when it comes to, another thing, how to foster a good relationship, I find that one of the biggest challenges that come when you're coming into a college, most students will have difficulty to express themselves fully. So another area of empowerment for educators is to empower students to express themselves openly and fully, as they are, not as somebody wants them to do. And another area is, and the most critical area for empowerment, is always establishment of trust. There must be adequate establishment of trust between teacher and student, that this is a safe space for me to grow, and it is both ways. Both teacher and student must trust each other, trust the process. Then only growth can happen. We will elaborate on these points. For now, this is my introduction to the topic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I'd like to go to, the extensive traveler, musician who suits the ears, helps in buffering the tensions of both the educators as well as the students to a great extent. Because whenever we are in tension, whenever we are in some kind of pressure, almost all counselors suggest that you listen to some beautiful music. And one of the musicians, it is a pride for us to say that he is the panelist here, and has different countries experiences, talking with the people, knowing from them what's their culture and how the people look at we being as Indians. So it would be appropriate for me to ask him to share his opinion, or share his understanding on as to how to empower oneself rather than the educators. So everyone, for that matter. Over to you, Dr. Ravindra Gururaj Katoti, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Katoti sir is there?
Yeah, he's there, sir. I will just check this.
I think Katoti sir is also under stress now at this moment because of
Can
professional.
you unmute and his video? Chandan, sir?
Madam,
Katoti, sir, now
call
unmute
ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
video on my.
I'm trying to reach him, madam.
Okay.
Sir, unmute yourself.
Okay.
Did you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can
Sir,
hear you.
everything is okay now. You can.
Yes,
you can-
everything is fine. So
Okay,
thank
sir.
you very much, our beloved principal, Dr. Ejaz Ahmed Khan, sir, for his kind and generous appreciation. I'm very much thankful for giving me this opportunity to be with these esteemed panelists. And before I talk about empowerment, so I thank Chandan for empowering me by switching on my video and audio.
Yes, sir.
That's a good remark. That's a wonderful remark.
Okay. Now, as we had initial observations and introduction by Sunandaji, it is very delicate issue dealing with the empowerment of students through mental well-being. And it is multidimensional as well. So it is not a snapshot development. It will not happen in a push button exercise. So it is a long process. It's a continuous process involving so many stakeholders put together. But today's this FDP particular these deliberations, they mainly focus on student and teacher equations. So as it was observed in the initial introduction that there is a power imbalance between teachers and students. So that needs to be really taken in a serious stride. And moreover, a shifting of focus from teaching to learning. So nothing can be taught, but everything can be learned. So that is a wonderful observation by our panelist Sunandaji. Now, I'd like to address some of the aspects which have a very serious implication in this connection. So first, I would like to just hint upon some aspects like cultivating supportive environment. So when it comes to empowering students, they need to feel that they are in a supportive environment. Because when they shift from the premises of a school to a college, so there is a drastic change. And most of the times, students come under massive stress because of a change of environment, change of medium of instruction, and they come across a new set of friends or classmates and peer group seniors. Thanks to our laws and legislations, there is a drastic reduction in ragging cases. Otherwise, uh, bringing confidence, self-confidence among the students with the supportive environment would have been very difficult. But under current legal framework, so we have got that legal support as well. So cultivating supportive environment among students, it is of prime importance. For that, the most important thing is providing them safe and inclusive spaces, physical spaces, mental spaces as well. when it comes to classroom or college premises, library, sports arena, or canteen, or in the vicinity of college premises. So boys as well as girls, particularly, they should feel safe. And when they are dealing with their classmates, teachers, office staff, and other uh, um, players in the premises, they should also feel safe, as well as they should have equal opportunity to present themselves. So they should be inclusive spaces. So they should not feel that they are denied access to any particular place, or they are denied opportunities to participate, denied opportunity to say avail any facility like that. So this free movement of students, as well as their thoughts, activities, that will give them a feel of inclusive spaces. Then there should be open communication. Open communication. So I forgot one more thing. For inclusive spaces also mean the medium of instruction as medium of exchanges. Particularly when we have been working in government institutions, for government colleges, where we get students from very lowest and humble stratas of socio-economic fabric. So most of them, they are first generation degree holders, first generation degree seekers rather. So the language of communication, so that may bar some of the segments of the students from this whole process. So creating confidence in among them by including more and more segments with by dismantling these linguistic barriers, that will also create more self-confidence among them, so they can express freely and include themselves in this whole process. And open communication between students and teachers, and among the students as well. It may be formal communication during classroom activities, on off the classroom also. So there should be free accessibility between the teachers and students, so that the students should have sufficient courage and confidence to approach the teachers, to bring to their notice their grievances or their doubts, difficulties, whatever, so that it will be a two-way traffic. Most of the times, our classrooms are one-way traffic communication. So wherein there is some PPT running, or some blackboard activity or green board activity going on, some dictation of notes happening. So if open communication happens, so the classroom will be more lively, and even off the classroom also, outside the classroom also, students can be more expressive. They can be more reaching out to the teachers and the college management or staff, or including the administration, the head of the institution, approaching the head of the institution, which I have seen. I have seen in RC college particularly. So principal chamber, so it is not a power center, it is an energy center. So that I have experienced. So students never hesitate to approach the principal. So they have got free access, so that they can approach principal to share their difficulties, their problems, and the redressal also happens there. So this open communication is very important aspect to be addressed. One more thing is emotional intelligence. So which which is a very crucial aspect to be addressed in connection with cultivating supportive environment, because emotion is such a subtle thing. So managing emotions, whether it among teachers as well as students, it becomes a crucial matter. So emotional ups and downs. So sometimes emotional conflicts, managing the conflicts, and giving required support. So whenever a particular student or a particular person is down with emotions, and giving sufficient skills to manage one's own emotions, these are very important things to deal with emotional intelligence. I think with these observations, I'd like to get back to the moderator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kadoti sir. Very important points are made by uh, the speaker of the day, which we will discuss at the later stage. Now, may I call upon Dr. Harish MG to share his experiences and also share his knowledge as to how to empower the educators as well as take care of the educatees. Over to you,
Thank you,
Harish.
sir. Thank you, sir. First of all, I would like to thank our beloved principal, sir, for giving me this opportunity. And I would also like to thank Shobha ma'am, Dr. Shobha ma'am, who is the organizer of this FDP. Sunanda ma'am set the tone of this particular talk in a right way. She said that we should set the right expectations, correct the expectations, and we should empower students before imparting knowledge. And she also said very correctly that we cannot teach anybody anything. We can make them learn. How to foster good relationships, and how to make students express themselves, and how to establish trust. These are all very important aspects of teaching and learning. My talk would be a digression, and my talk is not very well structured like Katoti sir did. Please bear with me. Uh, First of all, as teachers as well as students, we should acknowledge that it's a very challenging process. One cannot be complacent about this entire process because we are living in an age of exodus of information. There is opinion overload, and it is a highly hyper connected world. When we were students, this kind of a world did not exist. And students are subjected to barrage of outside influences, and we say students are forced to believe that they can have it all and they can do it all. And I want to travel in a different direction. Can we locate the true potential of the students and guide them properly to make right choices? I think this is the biggest challenge of a teacher today. When I see the curriculum embedded in the universities today, they are trying to cram more and more syllabus, more and more skill into already overscheduled, over crammed the syllabi, the curricular. I am expecting fruitful discussion where can we teach students to declutter, to prioritize, to simplify, to reduce, to focus, to politely decline few of the things which are not fruitful for them. And can we make them eliminate, make the right choices, to explore, to evaluate, to discern? So these are the things I want to focus upon, because today the Western universities are thinking in terms of being essentialist and minimalist. But when I see our current scenario in our syllabus and universities, we are trying to cram too many things into the heads of the students. I would like to quote the famous management theorist Peter Drucker here. He says, in a few hundred years, when the history of our time will be written from a long-term perspective, it is likely that the most important event historians will see is not technology, not the internet, not the e-commerce. It is an unprecedented change in the human condition. For the first time, literally, substantial and rapidly growing numbers of people have choices. For the first time, they will have to manage themselves, and society is totally unprepared for it. This is a famous quote by Peter Drucker. And one more thing I would like to emphasize upon is we have totally forgotten that our learning is inextricably linked to the emotional well-being of the teacher as well as the student. It is also inextricably linked to the physical well-being. What are we doing? How are we taking care of the physical and emotional well-being of the students is a big question mark, because most of the colleges have counseling cells as well as physical education department, but I don't think they are correctly oriented to look after the physical well-being and emotional well-being of the students. Recently, I was reading a book about learning disabilities. In one of the chapters, the author says the learning disability is directly linked to breathing. Most of our students are deprived of sleep. It is learning disability is also linked to sleep. Most of our students suffer from chronic insomnia, sleep apnea, mood disorders, and mouth breathing. And a recent trend, if you are looking into the newspapers, most of them are succumbing to the heart attacks. How are we addressing these issues? These are my questions. And are we worried about the food which students are consuming on a day-to-day basis? Because food also impacts the students' cognition. Uh, how are we looking at, say, consumption of sugar? How are we looking at, say, consumption of junk food? How important is physical activity? How important is microbiome diversity? How important is consumption of protein, fiber? And these are all the aspects which our university curriculum nor the teachers are addressing. This is my apprehension and this is my fear. In the long run, we stand to lose this game of teaching. This is my observation, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for making such wonderful observations. I think these observations are very aptly identified, and I could see the panelists' heads nodding. So, which means that everyone is of endorsing your observations. I think we would take on this at a later stage. Now, may invite Madam Sri Lakshmi to make your observations on today's topic.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for the opportunity and all the participants. With the permission of the moderator, so can I address about how institutions can empower teachers in order to achieve
Yes,
our
sir.
aims? Yes, sir. Thanks. Thank you for the
Yes.
permission. So, based on 21 years of teaching, research, learning experience, I have identified around 6 strategies which an institution, particularly the head of the institution, should consider in order to bring a holistic development. And the most important is we need to be empowered. That is the teachers, because we are the ones who are going to connect to the students on the day-to-day platform, and we are going to meet them every day. So here, so I would like to talk about 6 strategies in a brief aspect. First is integrate well-being into the institutional mission and values. So I feel it should always start from the top. So it should be one of the mission of the institution that we need to ensure our students are safe in the environment and their well-being is our priority. And we have to inculcate these values into the teaching as well as the environment around us. So that should be the first step taken by the institution. Next, it is very essential to empower the teachers by providing a comprehensive professional development and training. See, in higher education, most of the faculties they complete their masters, take up the NET exams or state level exams, and get into the classroom as a teacher. But it's not the same when it comes to the schools or at the PU level, where the teacher undergoes a training program. But here, Till August or September, he or she would have been a student, and now they come on the platform as a teacher. So there is a role conflict. So what the institution can do is provide them training, make them understand how to first shift their role from being a student and now a faculty. They have to connect to the students who are just 2 or 3 years younger to them. So it becomes challenging for them to understand, identify the mental health issues. So train the teachers frequently through a professional organization. And in Karnataka government, DCE sends the teachers to the NIMANS, one of the reputed institution all over India. And we get a chance to learn from the clinical psychologist and counselors, and we learn so many things which our master degree have not taught. So that should be one of the approach where other universities can also tie up with the institutions and train the young faculties initially the first year itself. And for the teachers who are already working, please send them time to time on these perspectives for an in-house learning. So that could help. My third suggestions would be establish clear referral pathways and resources. Sometimes the teacher identifies through counseling, mentoring, but she is unable to direct the students because she is unable to firstly understand what the case is all about. So hence, we need to have an institutional setup, and we can have the HODs, we can have the mentors, and their names, contact numbers, email IDs can be displayed in the campus. So it becomes easy for a young new teacher or an experienced teacher to give them directions for the next level. So that is one of the suggestions. Next, very essential is promote a culture of care and collaboration. Sometimes in the staff room, we understand and observe some teacher is constantly interacting with a group of students. And even during the lunchtime, others comment, she is getting too much into the students' issues. That comment hurts the young faculty or an existing staff. So next, they avoid such kind of interaction. So we need a facility. Where should I address my students? Where can I talk to my students? All issues cannot be disclosed in a staff room. So hence, in a city like Bangalore, the staff rooms are too compact and it becomes difficulty to talk to the students. So let's have at least the facility to have a counseling session center or where the student can walk in confidently and talk to the teacher of his choice. So that culture is required. Never to comment on others in the campus, and teachers should have the culture of help each other, particularly the students. And if you are unable to, move on to the next level. Next is addressing teachers' workload is also very important because it prevents teachers from burning out themselves. So the faculty, especially the principal, should consider with the workload, and maybe on a Saturday or a particular designated day, no meetings, it is only the teacher's class, and she is given 3 or 2 hours at least to interact with the students. And next important thing is student teacher ratio. So when you say I'm a mentor for 110 students, it's practically impossible for me to understand every child's need because every student is important to us. So maybe that should be considered, or as discussed, maybe one particular day. So it is only for discussion for a teacher with her students, and no other meetings, no other agenda, no other IQC work or an act related meetings. So that is one option. And the last would be provide a dedicated support staff and resources. So resources are very important, which the head of the institution should provide, where the teacher doesn't become a therapist, but the teacher remains with the student, understand their need and requirement, and help them to move on to the next level because we are not professionals in handling all the cases. So we need this referral support system. So these are my few suggestions where the institutions can think of creating a holistic development, empowering the teachers, and creating a conducive environment. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, Madam Shobha, would you like to make any comment or any observations of yours? Dr. Shobha?
So you may continue.
Should we continue?
Yes, sir. We continue. Unable to reach, ma'am. You please continue, sir.
Okay, thank you for making six different, making a note and informing us about six important strategies which the institution and all related authorities need to consider for making the professional as well as the student development and also well-being of both the student and teachers. Back to you, ma'am, Sunanda ma'am. You had so many observations. I would like to hear from you. What do you feel and whether you endorse this or do you have any other thing to add to it?
Definitely, all the observations that have been made are in line with the observations I had already made for myself also. Excellent, very comprehensive and very essential. Very much, I think it is high time, as we say, to address these. Like Attorney Sir said, it has to be a supportive environment, definitely. But when we say supportive environment, we also need to, like Sri Lakshmi ma'am observed correctly, we have to define what is a supportive environment, how support will be given, how much support will be given by the teacher to the student. That has to be definitely done. And as Harish sir mentioned, when we say holistic, we definitely have to incorporate physical health also. A lot of the times, physical health gets left out from all these programs that we design for teachers and students, because we generally don't think about the body as essential to our existence. We take it for granted. But without this body, nothing actually works. So the body becomes very important. We have to take care. And as rightly observed by the other panelists, this has to come into the system. It cannot be something that is coming from outside. It should be part of the policy that is already existing, or it should become part of the policy. Because if we try to make everything extracurricular, it puts more burden for both the student and the teacher. So most all these things that have been told, like setting up the strategies that ma'am has given, the points that Harish sir made, uh, about reducing the workload, introducing the physical and emotional well-being aspect, how we are taking care of nutrition, all this should become part of the policy of the institutions. It cannot be done simply as extracurricular. I am a therapist, so when people come to me, I will give them therapies like, or remedies like music, dance, movement, art, this, that. But they are coming from, say, the corporate side. They work for 12 hours a day, they are coming. So something to break away from that. But students, this college and university is an excellent place to integrate all this already in their lives. And the best part is schools do it, but the minute we go to college, all that is lost. Like schools have art, schools have PT, schools have wellness, schools have everything. But when we come to college, like commerce colleges in India don't have fine arts. Like they don't have painting, they don't have music, they don't have, maybe because the electives are not set up like that. But why not set up electives like that? So that a student does not need to go out, especially in Bangalore or very big cities where they have to travel so much already. And then now you're telling them go learn art from 10 kilometers away. It is very tough for them. So why not integrate into the system itself? These are all therapeutic methods. And most of this is covered in the Indian system already. If you look at the old system, I was looking at the program brochure and there is a mention of the Gurukula system. All these different parts are already part of our education system, which we somehow have lost. By the time we come to college, it gets lost. So definitely one thing that can be done for holistic development of students is to incorporate things that have been mentioned into one policy, second into curriculum, not make it like extracurricular. So physical education, drama, music, art, dance, everything can become minors, like what you call electives. Why not? Let students explore. And when we talk about practices, that we need to follow, like Okay, I spoke about expressing. There are many students who want to express themselves in many ways. They want to take part in committees, they want to organize things. So why not give them credit for all that? Academic credit for all the work that they are doing instead of making it only extracurricular. Let it become part of the curriculum. So if I spend 20 hours of my college time in organizing a workshop, that should be my credit, because tomorrow I have to go and work in the real world. In the real world, there is nothing extracurricular or extra office. It is not like that. Whatever we do is part of the organization. And this comes from the belief that a college is basically a college is like a trailer of the movie of the real world, because here you have to learn to become independent, make your own decisions, take care of yourself, do a lot of things by yourself. And here people will not be there to all the time, hold you, push you. It is not going to happen like that. So why not bring in what happens in workplaces? Why not start introducing those things in the college system itself? Abroad, if you go to colleges abroad, these things have already been done. Everything is not in the sense, everything is not bookish for them. They get credit for a lot of the work they do in society. Like if I spend 50 hours of my time volunteering somewhere, because that is something that satisfies me, it gives me a lot of satisfaction. It empowers me if I'm empowering somebody else. Why not incorporate those things into the curriculum? Give them credit for that, because they are learning something. Learning happens everywhere. Learning is not something that happens only in a campus, inside a building. It can happen anywhere. And a college is a preparatory ground for the real world. So slowly we need to introduce the real world into the college. Like when I was in college and when I came out of college, for me, the workplace was so different from, it was a shock, because there is a hierarchy and then I have a escalation matrix. So many things I had to learn, the communication hierarchy, how to, send an email. I did not know all these things. Today, of course, children know all that, but how a workplace works. And I think teachers are very well positioned to do that, because they are also part of the organization. They are working for an organization. So giving insight to students of how to be in the real world is, I think, the best way to empower them to deal with life. Then there was a conversation about definitely, yes, we already covered this. The clear what Sri Lakshmi ma'am mentioned about having clear referral pathways, and what she said is correct. Teachers should not be expected to become therapists, because therapy is a long process. I think Katote sir also said it is not something that is going to happen today. Well-being is not something which you push a button, it happens. It has to happen slowly. So there must be clear pathways for people to develop their well-being. So my first point of contact is a teacher, but if my teacher cannot address the issue, there must be somebody else who can do it for me, who can work with me for a long time. And I'm very sure that teachers don't have the bandwidth to sit with somebody in therapy for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. It's not possible. It is a specialist job. It should be done by them. And I was very shocked, I think, to hear the ratios of student teacher, like student and expected counseling from the teacher to be 110 students for a teacher. That is very big. Even the most busy therapists don't take up so many people at a time. It's not possible, because this will drain out the person completely. Sitting with somebody and listening to someone is a very draining process. So that is definitely something that should be addressed by institutions. And I'm sure that since especially the central government is very keen on introducing and incorporating these type of activities into schools and colleges. Especially, I'm from Kerala, so in Kerala, every school, it has become mandatory to have a counselor. It helps both the parents and the students. I don't know what is the status in universities. Has it become mandatory to have counselors? But if not, that culture has to come in. It also provides this space for students and teachers to express themselves without fear of being ostracized because I'm bringing out an issue. That is very important. So I agree with everything that the other panelists have said. And the most important thing I think about empowerment is that we need to also focus on how an individual can empower themselves. That is an area that we need to work on. And that also needs to become part of the curriculum of a college, how you become yourself. Because students or teachers, all of us need to have good connection with ourselves. I'll give a small example for that. The teachers that we really remember with a lot of love and affection, and these were the teachers we could challenge. If a teacher was telling us this is how this works, and we say, no sir, why can't it be done like that? And the teacher says, yeah, why not? These are the teachers we remember with a lot of affection, because that teacher is very secure in themselves. They know what they are. They know that they don't know everything, that they are open to learning. So when like I think Katoti sir said, it has to become a two-way process. Right now it is much one way. Once it becomes two-way, when teachers are so connected to themselves, so secure in themselves that they can take the challenge that students throw on them, and it becomes natural to give and take, it establishes a very strong bond between the teachers and the students. When I know that I can very freely talk to my teachers. I can challenge them, because in the real world, you have to challenge the people you work with. People will challenge you. And this has been part of our culture always. The concept of Tarkam has always been a part of our culture. In the Gurukula system also, it was expected that you will challenge the Guru. But the Guru will not give you answers. He will give you another question, which will make you think. And I will give a small story here. So in the Gurukula, one of the Gurukulas, one day the Guru said, we'll go out. He told the Acharyas, take the students out and teach them. Don't sit under the shelter. So they went out. And one of the boys was sitting under a tree. And they were learning. And suddenly a bird comes on the tree, and the bird puts the dropping down. And this boy is sitting under the tree, so it comes on his head. And he gets angry. He'll get up angry, and he'll tell the Guru, see, this is because of you. You made us come out, we sat here, so this happened to me. The Guru will say, go and first clean up and come. The boy will come, go clean up and come, but he's still angry. He says, see, because of you only this happened. So the Guru says, do you think that bird, came onto the tree only because you were sitting there? So it sparks something in the student. He says, no, the bird would have come anyway. So then the Guru says, do you think the bird put the dropping only because somebody was sitting there? He says, no, the bird would anyway put the dropping. That's natural to the bird. So do you think because we came out it happened, or do you think it happens every day? And so the boy started thinking, and he realized that in this world there must be billions of birds all over the world. So every day birds must be doing this, billions of birds must be doing this. So this kind of give and take, this kind of dialogue-based relationship has to be established between student and teacher, so that one is the students can benefit from the, benefit from the experience of the teachers, and something will spark in them. And they can, open up their intelligence a bit more, overcome the limitations of their personality, and sorry, I lost the thread of that. I'm going to come back. So, so they will be able to overcome the limits of what they think they can do and they cannot do. So teachers should be trained. Of course, this is something that has to be trained into teachers, how to deal with this kind of dialogue-based teaching, how to deal with situations where the student is challenging, how to address those challenges. All this needs to be trained, and Sri Lakshmi ma'am correctly identified that there must be proper training given to teachers in how to deal with whatever challenges are coming to them in their workplace. So these are my ideas about this, or these are my inputs about this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to go to, I think, very serious listener here, and who, on a day in, day out basis, had to bear us in the classrooms. I think let us listen to him and try to understand what really he mean to empowering the students and what the students expect from the educators, and do we stand up to their expectations, or do we need any corrections in ourselves? So let us try to understand from me. Over to you, Pawan Kumar. Feel free to talk.
Good evening to everyone, all the teachers and the lecturers present here. I am a bit nervous today. This is my first time, so I am a bit nervous. As many problems what we are facing, as discussed, all the lecturers who are discussed, and the panel members are discussed, we are primarily facing that. I want to point out some of the problems we face a lot everyday basis. The first thing is favorism. There is a lot of favorism going on nowadays. Teachers only focus on the few students and not bother about the others. When the classes are initially going, when the teacher is teaching any topic, the initially first bench students or the toppers, if they give the answers, they don't bother about the other students whether they understood or not, whether they got it or not. They don't care or bother about them. If any few 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 students will answer, they conclude it and move to forward. This this leads to the this leads us to make us to be against the teacher, not liking the teacher, hating the teacher, and it leads to not learning about or not ignoring the subject. And other point is that we this is a main and actually problem which we face. What we are learning, it is not linked to the practicality. As a teacher, they should also relate to the practicality, not what is in the books and what is going in the books. They should also say relate to the practicality, then want to say that it is not like this. You want to work like this, and they want to make us to know the reality. When I heard of many of my seniors or the persons who got the job, they say the only one point: what we learned and what we are doing is totally different, and there is no point of being studying. So I hope there should be linking to practicality. And there is no, as we come from the college and school, we have a connection with the teachers and friendly nature. After coming to degree or higher studies, we lose a, lose that connections, and we don't get to the teachers, and we can't say what is really going with us. And we sometimes can't speak to them because we feel if we say what they will think, what is going with us, and they won't understand, they won't care. And what is it? And sometimes the student, we need some motivation from the teachers when we are not able to make make something, or when we are failing. When we are in schools, the teachers will be motivating, and they will saying you have to improve or not in the certain things. When they are in degree, they won't care. If you are like, if you are willing to study, you are studying, you should do. Otherwise, it is not about, it is not related to us. They don't take the responsibility as a teacher should make the students to be like properly educated. Or and there is a no moral life lessons is taught in the degree life, as I observed a lot. And in the initially in schools, they will be teaching how should you behave, and how should you behave in the society, and which is in the degree life it has been less. And I have seen that there is literally nothing. There is only few teachers who are being telling that. Most of them they don't, which leads to them to not be in a proper man. I think the future generation is us. If the teacher, there is a teacher responsibility that to make us to be better person. When they teach us in the better way, when they say about the good life lessons, and they tell about how to behave, how to be with the person, what is humanity and all. That time the students can be more, be the better citizen in the future life. And the teachers, some of the teachers will not teach properly, and we face a lot of problem. They just study the what is there in the syllabus, they don't explain it. So when we didn't get it, how can we go and perform in the exam? So when we did perform, we will be facing that lot of pressure in home, and the parents will be pressuring a lot, why you didn't get. When we are not understanding the topic, how can we go? And we can't ask the teachers. When we sometimes when we go and ask the teachers, I taught you. I can't. I taught you. No. Why can't you listen? It is your fault. It is totally your fault. Sometimes we go and ask the doubts. When we frequently ask the doubts, why you are asking too much of doubts, and they target us. Sometimes there is a targeting, and say sometimes when we are asking the doubts, the teachers will not respond properly. That leads us to be demotivated, and that makes us to not to learn. Oh, what is to learn? However, the teacher will not answer our questions. What is the point of thinking and understanding this? And when there is a no connection, and there's too much of strictness to the students also lead, also demotivate. I have searched the case. I have found that there was a case in the Punjab where the teacher as a mentally harassed, and because of his disciplinary and because of his strictness, the teacher, because she was not performing well in the exams or in the academy, she was mentally harassed. So what she did is she hanged out to the fan, and she committed a suicide, and with a note that the note, this is due to the harassment in the school, the college. This and however the case was dismissed. See, what I think is the teacher. However, the teacher should be strict. I don't say that the teacher should not be strict. That should be in a limit. When we go on making too much of uh, pressure on the students, when we feel the more pressure, we also human beings. We should also get a time. We should also, when we are put into a lot of stress, we can't do anything. The mind will be like hell. I'm feeling it now because I am studying the CA. Like when I feel much stress, I can't even think. My mind will be trembling. I don't think, I can't understand anything. So there will be sufficient space. When teachers will hurry to complete the syllabus, they don't think whether the student is getting or not. They will hurry, they will hurry, and when they hurry, we can't absorb it at a time. We are also human beings, because some will absorb, some can't be absorbed, because God has created with all the unique personality, all are not equal. We also want some time to absorb. And when the teacher rushes, we don't understand the thing, and we can't perform well. And we face a lot of problem where uh, there is lack of experience. Like we feel sometimes there is a lack of experience in the teacher. The teacher does not know how to involve with the students. Sometimes they don't involve. They say, I am teaching now, you can't ask the doubts, you come and ask again later on. When we ask, I said it, no, they say only one quotation. When we ask, how many times you can ask? I have said it. It is your fault. You are not observing. You are not in the properly. As a teacher I think the teacher should be capable of grabbing the attention of all the students. They should know how to grab the attention. Even the person who is not getting the attention, they should know how to make him to be in the class and make him to uh, concentrate in the concentration of the class. I don't blame totally on the teachers. There is a blame on the students. We blame on us also, because as Harish said, because of the social media influences, because of the influence of the others, because of influence, we can't do anything. Because of influences, there is a against the teachers, going against the teachers. There's a many cases where the student dispute arisen between the students and the teachers, which has been not gone to court cases. It has been ultimately settled there only. So I feel there should be a social activities where we can connect to the teachers, and the teachers is an obligation to make us to become a better person. Rather than being in academics also, they be in a better person. The main requirement is to be a better person, to know what is the moral values of the life. That is, we are expecting from the teachers. That's it, I concluded.
Great, great listening to you. We for some time I personally I feel that I worn your shoes. I try to understand how do you feel at us. This is a really we also have been observing now the targets because of this semester system. Where entire syllabus have to be completed in a given time frame, and the timeline has to be followed. The institution expect that it should be because institution always looks at its achievements in terms of outcomes of the programs, in terms of the results that are secured by the students. May it also be making the students to learn like a hell in order to get ranks, which would add to the loads of the institution. So this is maybe to a greater extent every institution is doing. Uh, to a certain extent, we do agree with. We do agree with, and we have to agree. And you made a very important point that blame shifting. We thought you, and it is your problem. You are not listening. It is your problem. And you made another observation that favorism. Uh, might be it is there. I don't say no, it is not there. It do happen. Uh, Sometimes, as an educator, let me put my opinion into this panel. I'm just moderating it. So beyond moderation, I'm putting my point because you raised very valid uh, observations and valid issues. So when it comes to a fairism, maybe probably the way and the dimension or the angle of looking at it may also make a bigger matter. Uh, Really, sometimes the teacher would not have that in mind, but still, he would be, conversating to the first front benchers and middle and the last benchers would be probably taking it in another way. So they are being ignored. Maybe this kind of mindset is already. So what I feel is we should not go into any particular environment or situation with a preset mind. The mind has to be open. So somebody has suggested. So usually, what happens with the students is, suppose say a student has joined first year and already a passed out student is there. Suppose they are connected to each other. The passed out student is going to give opinion about a particular educator that this man is like this. So this information what the newcomer receives from a senior, that would occupy his mind. Even if a teacher, behaves or he does by justifying whatever that is required in the profession, but yet there is element of this kind of preset mind would be there with the students. So that need to be negated. That need to be negated. First, we need to understand really how the teacher is, whether he has this mindset and he has any favoring attitude towards it. Let us not we become the victim of our own preconceptions. That should not result in a hatred. That is what I would like to make my observations. And I do accept that in the learning process, lack of clarity on what is being taught, or if the concepts are not properly explained. So that is also one of the important things which we, the educators, have to take into consideration while going to the classes, because all may not be gifted learners and all may not be slow learners. Today morning, today afternoon, I had one of the officials from, because you gave the story of Punjab, I would like to quote one story of today, the real incident that happened. So one parent had come and he is holding very important position in a research and development wing of Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited, HPCL. He came, so he basically he's engineer and he is into helm of affairs. He is a decision maker and he has lots of powers, okay, sitting in a higher position. But he had come with a problem of his child. His child now pursuing second PU, but he is a slow learner. there is a unique type of problem what he narrated us. He's a slow learner. He wanted to bring in and seek admission in our college. He asked, "BCom, do you have mathematics?" I said no, because he does not learn mathematics. He does not know mathematics. His son, he's a slow learner. He said it very openly. Then he asked, he is very bad at addition and subtraction, and the hell of accounting is addition and subtraction only. Okay, accounting is there at every stage, in every semester, in almost all the programs. Across all the programs, accounting subject is there. Then he asked whether, do you have this statistics? Yes, it is there. In a few of the programs, it is there. Then he asked, can you offer some subject which does not have these elements, which could be taken as a optional paper? Okay, as a parent, listen, as a parent, I'm being in such important position. He was so close with me. First time I met him. But he spoke to me very openly. Then he said, "See, can you integrate or can you bring some paper and offer him so that these papers are made easy to him? He would also become a literate and he would also become a graduate. Tomorrow, probably he may correct himself or he may improve himself." As Madam said, Sunanda Madam said, you should not go with something like, the whole system of putting the entire stuff of this syllabi on the students. There should be some kind of freedom. Why not provide a space for them to integrate or bring in some subjects which are of their interest, like music, Madam rightly pointed out. Okay, like yoga. So this is absent in the present curriculum system. Madam said it's not a bookish one. Okay, we just cannot focus on book. So college is only a trail, very rightly pointed out. It is a ground where you prepare for real world situations. So while preparing for real world situations, everything which is essential for making a student to come out in a situation has to be integrated in the learning process. As you said, if we bring all those, as Pawan said, already you are overburdened by giving learning targets. Okay, within this time frame, you need to learn. These are all happening. I think some thought process has to go into this. Over a period of time, the things would be corrected. We should be unbiased. We should receive the information and think over it, deliberate on it. We should have complete empathy towards it, towards the needs of the students. Then probably the things will be corrected. I'm sure if this kind of deliberations happen, if this kind of panel discussions happen across all the platforms, across all the universities, one fine day we would also be far ahead and compete with the foreign universities as well. Madam Sri Lakshmi, would you like to?
So there is a question in the chat box which is exclusively for you, sir. Can I read it out? Is it possible to take that question? Yeah, this question.
Sure.
Yeah, this question is posted by Siddhika Kanu. I'll read it out, sir.
Yeah, read it out.
In today's AI integrated classroom, which is more impactful, years of teaching experiences or only mastery of emerging new technologies are important for teachers? Where most of our students are tech savvy, what is your opinion, sir?
See, I would give my one example in this context. If I want to keep myself relevant in a given changed scenario, then I'm compelled to learn. And you should learn. Because at no point of time, my students should feel that I'm the one who was relevant 50 years ago. No. If he needs any suggestion from me, if he needs any inputs from me, say for example, we are all engaged in the research process. There are some research tools which we need to use. Why should I depend on somebody to make calculations or make some kind of assertions which are quantitatively based for my requirement? Why should I depend on him? Let me learn. Let me learn. Because student is far better than me. If I say him, if I take his help, then one fine day he may also make a running comment that this man useless fellow, like that. Okay, technology is changing, AI is changing. I could give you an example. The students have become so smart, so smart. This smartness is at the cost of ethical behavior. Exams are going on in the college. One boy has brought a mobile hiding somewhere, and the question, 2 marks questions were there. He put it on the chat GPT, got the answer, copied onto the paper. Now tell me, the AI, does it help in his personal development? So there is right way of using it and there is wrong way as well. So how do we pursue it? So I think we need to update ourselves. We should never feel that we will not be able to cope up with the changing trends in the AI technology because it is the order of the day. As from past few days, these deliberations are going on. I think in this FDP, lots of information very sure that things are changing, and tomorrow there would be even a replacement of AI in place of educator. Things maybe it is going to happen over a period of time. Now, if you give some seek some information on group, it gives everything. It gives everything. Okay, paper article is there. I saw on one paper article. I just wrote one paragraph onto the group and asked whether it is a fact, and group started giving everything. This is all. That is the time now. So therefore, I need to. I think we all have to update, at least to certain extent, where we should not feel that we have become irrelevant.
Thank you, sir.
I hope.
Yes,
I hope I would have answered. I would have answered her.
So there's a question to Dr. Harish. Harish, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Yeah, this question is based on the observation. Today, most of the students consume these energy drinks
Yeah.
when they sit for the preparation for the examination. So when I interact with the student, they said, I asked them, "You how many hours you slept?" It's only 2 or 3 hours. So what kept them active? It is an illusion or true? I don't know. They say we consume energy drink overnight. There are so many available in the market. Is that true? Which keeps them so active to come and write the examination where they have not slept even for 2 or 3 hours? Like
I'm not
Sting.
I'm not an expert to answer this question, ma'am, but definitely there is something called as sugar rush or say dopamine rush. We are human beings working on hormones. We have completely ignored dopamine, serotonin, all those things. Uh, Food definitely manipulates, tampers with their behavior. So students increasingly rely upon these things.
Yes,
But
sir.
in the long run, that will definitely dent their cognition. That's what I want to say, ma'am.
And it's becoming a group influence also, sir, which I've
Yeah,
not heard.
that's what I said, ma'am. The kind of hyper connected world we are living in, the kind of influence they get into. We were not exposed. We as teachers, we were not exposed to that kind of environment. So students today are dealing with and they are grappling with completely different types of issues which we are not even aware of. If you have seen the Netflix series Adolescence, we are not even we don't even know the lingo which they are using. If you have seen that
But
Netflix series
what's
called,
it? The young boy, to what
yeah,
extent can go and commit a crime? And
yeah, we cannot even understand the text, the
you
emoticons which they are using. There is complete, there is a crevice between where we are and students. When I heard Pawan speaking, I made the points.
yes,
If I can make some observation, he spoke about favorism, he spoke about loss of relationship, how we are not motivating them, how we are not giving them moral life lessons. And it's a call for teachers to be more humane. If you boil it down, it is nothing but he is asking teachers to be very, very humane.
repeatedly use the word that we are human beings.
Yeah. But what are we doing in the classroom? We are just like totalitarians. We are dictators. So we have to come out of that particular, and being humane is a big challenge for teachers in this scenario, because the system itself is forcing us to keep the students occupied with the continuous internal assessment. So this is all done, in the disguise of being beneficial to the students. But if you carefully observe, the single pointed agenda is to keep the students occupied, and we should put some sense into the entire curriculum design, where we come to a conclusion that less is better. Less
Yes.
is better. Why don't we bring down the curriculum? Why are we cramming so much of syllabus into it? Why don't we discuss only 2 lessons or 3 lessons for the entire semester in detail, where there is discussions, where there are group interactions? This is not at all possible in the present scenario. Why don't we focus on vital few rather than trivial many?
Yeah.
That is my question.
Okay. Sir, moderator also made an observation. He said where the previous batches pass on the message, this particular faculty is very strong.
Hello, I did not get you, ma'am. There was some network issue.
Our Ajas sir made an observation. He said when the students hear it from the previous batches that Dr. Harish is like this in the classroom, his behavior in the classroom and the students, and they distance themselves even before interacting with Harish and exploring what is Harish all about. So they don't connect with them.
How do we counter it, ma'am? Even I don't have answer.
Okay, just
There's a mental image which is created.
we have seen such personalities, no, sir, in the past.
It's left to the teachers. When he comes across this kind of feedback, he should introspect. He should go back to the class as a new person. But that does not happen. We are in a denial mode. Eternally, we deny all the observations made by the students. We think we are the embodiment of perfection. That's the thing we should give up. Actually, we are more than the students. We should become the students. It's a process of learning for us also. So when I feel at the core of everything there is empathy. Can we stand in the shoes, get into the shoes of the students, and look from their perspective? Then the things change. That's what I believe.
Thank you, sir. Over to Dr. Ajas, sir.
So thank you very much, sir. Madam, how long we can cover this? Is there any time limit?
Yes, sir. It's now 8:30. So now it is your turn. You should tell us. We have heard from everyone.
Okay. Ma'am, Sunanda ma'am, can we conclude now?
Yes, sir, we can conclude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very meaningful discussions made by the panelists, and lots of inputs they are given, and also lots of observations which they have personally made. So they put forth before us. Ma'am Sunanda said that we have to involve the stakeholders who are the students. She emphasized on that, and she also gave a lot of emphasis on cultivating supportive environment. That's the need of the hour, and it should be supporting. I'm sorry. These points were made by Dr. Ravindra. Establish a relationship with students. Ma'am said insisted on establishing a good relationship with students. Change the environment from school to college is being the problem that is faced by the students. So since there is a change in environment, the students look at the educators are parenting, our parents. So we need to sometimes become their second parents. So that is another important point what she has made. And the college is a way student, empower himself. And it should be a place where he empowers himself so that tomorrow when he goes out of the college, so he should be able to handle any given situation in any circumstances or any place. And one another important point what she made was, human being not being taught anything. They'll keep learning. Very true. It's very, very true here. So here comes the question of fostering good relationships, encouraging the students to express themselves, and making them to feel comfortable as to approach the educators, and make them to speak out their hearts, and inform the educators as to what they are looking for, and accordingly we also have to strategize in order to come up to their expectations. Dr. Ravindra made a very important point on providing the safe and inclusive spaces for the students, which would help in better learning. So there should not be something like a rule of stick or something like in the name of discipline. We should keep discouraging the students or taunting the students or abusing the students. So that has to go from the uh, places of learning. And he suggested that uh, access to opportunities should be provided to the students, which could be a physical one, or which could be something which is not physically visible. So moral one also, or something related to the encouragement, motivation, support, etc. And it should be gender bias free. So girls should also be given equal opportunities. Girls should also feel that they are at home. Okay. And he suggested that I heard he made one more important point there. Uh, the background from which the students come, the kind of language they speak, their social conditions, the type of schools, are some of the barriers for their learning. So all may not be convent educated. In such circumstances, we need to understand their requirements, their mind, and evolve such kind of strategies so that they become, vocal to express if any kind of issues they have with the educators, so that the educators can take care of such issues and try to address if any problems that they have. Like, so it should not be a monotonous one. Okay, and there should be a dialogue process where conversation happens between the learner as well as the facilitators. Dr. Harish made a very important point that now essentialist and minimalist comparison he made. The universities overseas what is the methodology they adopt and what kind of methodology we have here offshore. So that comparison very beautifully he made, and he referred to Peter F. Drucker's popular quote, linking of the emotional and physical well-being of students and teachers That should also be taken care of. And he referred to learning disabilities. He identified so many learning disabilities. So that need to be addressed. So universities should not be a place where it molds and builds a lot of pressures on the minds of the students so that they have to reach to certain targets. No, there should be learning freedom which should be given to the students. So minimal approach should be there, but it should be a comprehensive one. It should be meaningful one. So we learn something which has become redundant now. As Pawan said, there is no practical application of some of the things they learn for certain program. If you compare that with the real world, I don't think so there is any connect. For example, I think what he mean to say that in costing we make fun of when the teachers we sit, we make fun of some of the books they refer to labor hour 30 paise per that is a labor 30 paise per hour. Where is the question of 30 paise today? Pawan, am I right? Still we are learning. Am I right, Pawan? Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. And what I can see what, sir, I am learning CA now, sir. When I
Yeah,
compare to my academic books and the books of the CA books, there is a lot more differences. When we see and I have seen the GST bills, income tax bills, what we are learning is totally different. Even though sometimes teacher want to say us what is correct, sometimes we make wrong. See, when the teachers bring the practical problems rather than what is in textbook, if they bring and show the practical problems, this is how the company books audited. This is the company accounts have been like this. So when we got to know practicality, we be prepared. When we are not prepared in the initial stages, how can we go and face the reality? Then sometimes we can see, sir, I can say it's not, I can know. Autonomous colleges where the very reputed colleges with they have own syllabus, there is a lot more difference. They are teaching practicality, we are not. And the teachers sometimes they say it is not less important. Even though it is important, it is not important. Don't refer online. I feel what I feel is when the author has written so much of points, he has written full of explaining and all. If the teacher says it is not important, irrelevant, what is the meaning of what is the meaning of the rating? And I seriously abuse the teachers who will say only 5 points, only 5 marks. You focus on this. You focus on. When we are focusing on this, we will lose the knowledge of others. We will not get the knowledge, and there is a lack of knowledge, and there is a lack of confidence. Uh, Today's generation, I feel where we are lacking in the studies, where we are lacking in future, where we lacking because of the syllabus and because of how we are taught, because we are be focusing on some certain way, because we are focusing in the marks. We are not focusing in the knowledge. We are not focusing for knowledge gaining. We are only focusing for the marks, where we can make uh, make ourselves great. So when we get great marks, teachers say, "Oh, you are great, you are great." Not the teacher ask any questions related. They only ask when the teacher asks, "This is like this." You can link to any practicality. You are thinking like, think like this, think like this. There is no. This is we are facing today, sir. And lot of another I forgot done to mention this when teachers sometimes for only for certain days or for one instance or for one incident they judge the students for one incident for one incident we can't judge anyone any people now, sir.
Yeah, we got received that. We received very well. Thank you very much for informing us. We also somewhere we were lacking this kind of issues. Anyway, you made us to get away. I think probably some of us were sleeping. Anyway, students are also, it is my observation, I'm not countering you. You don't take it other way. It is my observation, students are also become lazy and lethargic. CA, it's very vast learning. You need to learn each and every line of a book. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You do not know where you get the question, and that
Yes,
fear
sir.
make you to learn more. Correct.
Yes,
And
sir. Yes, sir.
eventually you are overburdened. Look at the semester system. Semester system, see, we have NEP and we have SCP. NEP and NEP is spread across the nation, right? There are 5 modules and there is a preset question paper. Question paper carries so many, compartments. That is section A, section B, section C. Students are very smart nowadays. Before going to the examination or while preparing for the examination, they'll make some calculation. How many units or how many modules are there in the paper? I mean, textbook. I mean,
Sir,
okay.
So sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt. There is a need to turn on the videos by all the participants. As you discuss, we'll take the photo also, sir. Because
okay.
due to battery issues and other issues, the count is falling.
Fine.
Is that okay?
We
Sorry
take
for
it.
Okay.
It's okay.
We
Please.
request all the participants to turn on the camera, please. So please continue, sir.
Yeah.
Kandan sir will take care.
Students have become, more intelligent. That's what I started from. There are 5 modules, okay, and the paper is for 70 marks or 80 marks. NEP 60 marks. How much you have to study? If you study 3 modules thoroughly, you will get strengthened. Unnecessarily, why should you study 2 more modules? So this is what the problem we are noticing with the students, and there is no complete learning which is happening. They get the scoring when they pass out from the college. If they attend any interview, not even a single person gets selected. So this need to be corrected. So meaning we have to bring out some kind of mechanism where the students are given proper inputs in order to create awareness that you are not learning for the sake of examination. Don't become examination oriented. In our classes, most of my teachers, they keep telling the students, you should not focus on examination. Don't focus. Anyway, if you know, you get to pass. Pass in 3rd class. Okay, it doesn't matter. No company looks at your marks. They need only eligibility, but they check your skills. Try to develop skills. That is what we are focusing in RC College. Okay, we are doing it. I'm thankful to each member of my faculty. Everyone is working in that direction. Anyway, we will take definitely your observations and your feelings constructively. We do not have any kind of negative feelings. Okay. Sri Lakshmi Madam said the 6 strategies. All are very relevant, and she focused on student-teacher ratio, which is a very alarming one, especially in government colleges. We do raise these issues when the meetings held with the higher authorities, but I don't know. In India nowadays, earlier, see, if you look at the time of independence, the people used to come for executive. There is a political field with an ambition of serving the people. They were not after money, and they were not corporates. They were not businessmen. Okay, today businessmen are entering into polity, and polity decisions are also becoming just like business decisions. And those business decisions are deploying the education sector with the least funding. This is the space where the huge investment has to be made in order to reap its yield over a period of time. So, no significant, what I feel personally, I may be wrong, I need to be corrected. The required amount of importance and required amount of allocation, budgetary outlay is not being given to the education sector. This is need to be checked, and the decision makers and the executive need to think about that, and even the bureaucrats who are giving advices to the executive need also to think over it. So that's then if that thought process take place, I think this ratio will come down. This ratio will come down. Okay, Madam Sunanda, let us say.
Sir, I have taken all the papers.
Chandan?
Madam, sir?
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ಶಾಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್?
ಸರ್ ಮೇಡಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಎಲ್ರದ್ದು ತಗೊಂಡಾಯ್ತಾ?
ಸರ್
ಓಕೆ,
30%
ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ
ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ವಿಡಿಯೋ.
ಓಕೆ.
ಹೌದಾ?
ಬಟ್
ನಂದು
ಎಲ್ಲ
ಕೂಡ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ
ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಡೌನ್. Any moment my mobile will be off. Okay. Madam Sunanda, in the second part said that bookish system of learning does not exist in overseas universities. Normally book ನೋಡಿ ಅಂತ, but only there are different scenarios, different methods of learning. Those methods are to be adopted. Adopt ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ we will also become on par with the foreign universities. If not, foreign universities, there is matters to set up their campuses in India. Once it is set up, I think probably it becomes challenging for us. And tomorrow, these politicians may become stakeholders there. The politicians will become investors there, and they start comparing. One point we will all be dislodged from our professions. So, if we want to remain in the profession, we need to find where we lack, and we need to empower ourselves by learning, and that learning should not be exam oriented. It should be holistic development. It should be oriented towards the holistic development of ourselves as well as students. Thank you very much, ma'am.
So I request Shobha ma'am kindly share attendance link.
Yes, ma'am, I will share now. I will share it now.
Ajas sir, due to the time constraint, can we out of thanks? Quickly, I'll finish with that.
Yeah, please.
I take this opportunity to thank our principal, Dr. Ajas sir, IQAC coordinator, Dr. Shobha NS, co-coordinator, Dr. Harish, all the panelists, Ravindra Katoti sir, Sunanda ma'am, and Chandan sir, and all the participants who have joined us. Thanks for your patience, for staying with us active for such long time. Thank you, Ajas sir. Maybe we can have an exclusive session by you, sir. There's so much to discuss, so much to think about. So thank you, one and all. Thank you so much. This attendance link will be shared by Dr. Shobha NS.
Already shared, madam. Feedback, attendance form, Google form is shared. I request all the participants to fill it.
Dr. Ajas sir and all the other panelists, can we wind the meeting, sir?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Harish. Thank you to all the panelists.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Attendance link will be there for a few minutes. I request all the participants to kindly fill it.